So picture a sweltering summer day. It's 1924, and you're a teenage live-in maid.
Right.
And you've just been abruptly fired, like zero notice, no pay whatsoever.
Wow, just out on the street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the reason is that your employer found your 8-month-old baby, Daniel. So the baby's father is long gone, and you are handed this brutal ultimatum. You either abandon your child or you leave with absolutely nothing.
That is an impossible choice.
It really is. But Clara, the teenager in the translated biographical account we're doing a deep dive on today, well, she chooses her child. She literally walks 12 penniless miles to the county almshouse.
Yeah, and we really need to understand what an almshouse was back then. It wasn't, a charity shelter.
Right, it was much harsher.
Oh, absolutely. It functioned almost like a penal work camp. The standard institutional procedure for a destitute, unmarried mother at the time was just absolute. The child automatically went to an orphanage.
Wait, automatically?
Automatically, and the mother was sent out to do hired labor. That was just how society operated at the time. It wasn't even a question.
But, why the automatic separation? I mean, was it just pure moral policing of unwed mothers? Or was there an actual economic engine behind this?
It's heavily economic, yeah.
Because if the institution holds all the power, it's basically like walking into a bankruptcy court with zero assets, right? So how does a powerless, terrified teenager even begin to negotiate a buyout in that situation?
Well, you have to look at the math they were doing. These county facilities ran on the unpaid labor of their inmates. They desperately needed able-bodied workers.
And a baby doesn't exactly fit into that.
Right. A baby was viewed purely as a liability, like a total drain on resources. The separation wasn't necessarily born of individual malice. I mean, it was just a cold economic calculation.
So it's literally just a ledger to them.
Exactly. And Claire actually understood this math.
She did.
Yeah. After a completely sleepless night, she stood before the facilities manager, and witnesses later noted that her voice trembled the entire time.
I mean, she had to be terrified.
Terrified. But she offered them a totally different economic calculation.
Oh, so she uses future sweat equity as her bargaining chip.
Exactly that. She doesn't yell, she doesn't demand rights she didn't have. Instead, she promises to do, any grueling labor they require.
Like what kind of labor?
Washing, cooking, mopping from before dawn, even scorching field work. Her pitch is simple. She will offset the liability of her child by doing the work of 3 people.
Wow.
She basically guarantees she will never be a financial burden to the county as long as she gets to keep Daniel.
That is a brilliant loophole.
Yeah.
Like, she figures out what the system values most, which is free labor, and trades it for the one thing she values most.
Yes, and the dark irony here is how the 1920s bureaucracy processes this profound motherly love.
They issue her a piece of paper, right?
Yeah, they don't just say, oh, okay, sure. They issue her a literal permission slip to keep her own baby.
Written on thin paper and tucked inside this small envelope.
Exactly. It's this fragile piece of paper that became the physical proof she circumvented an absolute rule.
And she actually honors her end of that brutal contract.
She does. She woke up before dawn to scrub floors while Daniel slept in a basket nearby. And by the next spring, she had generated enough savings to move out.
Into a tiny attic room in a boarding house. I mean, just a single bed and a small crib. But it was theirs.
Yeah, it was theirs.
But she spends her entire life operating on that initial survival mindset, doesn't she? Working silently, wearing old clothes, skipping proper meals, never remarrying.
All to ensure Daniel gets an education.
Yeah, to escape the system that almost swallowed them whole. It really forces you to reevaluate how we define a legacy.
It really does. We usually measure historical legacy by massive wealth or buildings or, names carved in stone.
Right, the big visible things.
Exactly. But Clara lived to be 75, and she left a profoundly different type of footprint.
Yeah. At her funeral, her 59-year-old son stood before their family. His temples were graying, and he held up that exact same faded, worn envelope.
After more than half a century.
Yes. He told the family that his mother was practically a child herself that day in 1924, and she had absolutely nothing.
Just nothing.
But she stood in that office, terrified to the point of shaking, and negotiated his life. Clara didn't leave behind a fortune, but she left a son who knew every single day that he was worth fighting for.
That is just such a powerful image.
It really is. Which brings us to a final thought for you, listening right now. We all operate within massive, inflexible systems, whether it's corporate bureaucracy, healthcare, or government.
Oh, totally.
And Clara used what little leverage she had to wedge open a tiny space for her family. So take a look at the ordinary objects sitting around you today. A coffee mug, a notebook, your keys.
Just something completely mundane.
Exactly. What simple everyday item, just like Clara's worn, faded paper envelope, might one day become the ultimate symbol of your own quiet defiance and your legacy for whoever comes after you.